Alrighty. It's courtroom time, baby. Court time. Courtroom time. Hi, Mink. Welcome to the stream. I have a bit of a headache. I'm waiting for my ibuprofen to kick in. But I'll be fine. Alright. Okay. Plan for today. We are finishing this fucking case. I don't care how long it takes. We're completing it today. We're finishing everything. Everything related to this case. We're completing it now. Yes, headaches. I think it's more that my neck is just sore. I think I slept in a really weird position last night. But, whatever. Okay. Get out of here, music. Whoopsies! Oh, man. Okay, hold on. Uno momento. Give me a second. I opened the game on the wrong screen. We move this over here. There we go. Okay. I don't have a strong one right now, which is surprising. Oof, ripperoni. I am procrastinating on doing my math homework, though. That's a mood. That's a mood, but I've got a full big bottle of water right here, so I will be hydrating. Alrighty. I'm ready to take care of this fucking ridiculous case. Alrighty. Hey, Nick! What is it this time?
You won't believe how many people are here for the trial.
Well, it is a murder case.
What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door.
Next door?
Why don't you know this, Nick? They're having Detective Atmey's trial today.
Detective Atmey?
They say they're going to try him as Masked Star Demasque.
Already? That was fast.
Boy, I'd love to see Masked Star Demasque's trial.
There's a demon! There's a demon in these halls! I know. By the way, where's Pearls?
Oh, she went back home. She said she can't neglect her training anymore.
I know you don't like me. Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, huh?
Yep, ever since that incident last year.
Please! Don't ignore me!
Oh, Mr. Delete!
Oh, no, it's not Edgeworth. He's not back. Damn it. No one likes me. No one would notice me, even if I killed someone.
Come on, don't be silly. Wait a sec.
You don't mean... You're the murderer? No! I'm just a poor thief! No, wait, that's not right. A thief can't really be poor. Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delete, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending him to help him commit the heists.
Do you really think there's a connection between the thief and the murder, Nick?
It's possible. But today's trial is a race against the clock.
Huh? How come? Let's just take our time like always.
I'm afraid that's not an option.
Huh?
Hi, Godot. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delete. The defense is ready, Your Honor. You're ready? Preparation is the last refuge of the weak. Okay, let's settle down, everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Godot. Oh, he's got the judge in the palm of his hand yet again. Ron Delete is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all. I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Godot. Ha! Then you need to get out more, Your Honor. Life is war, but that is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. That's coffee number 1. That's all my statement means. You understand now, right? Yes, well then, let me briefly summarize the details of this case. Wow, the judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change. The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in a safe at approximately 9 a.m. on the morning of the 13th. We need a coffee counter on screen. Okay, hold on. Text. Godot. Can't spell Godot right. Coffee counter. What color should I make it? Brown. Like his coffee. No, black. Like his coffee. In the corner. Shoved in the corner. Or, actually, no. Up here. There. How does that look? There we go. I'm gonna have to manually change it every time, but that's fine. Okay. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 a.m. of the previous day. And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant. Very well then, Mr. Godot, you may call your first- oh, please call your first witness. I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. Oh, we're gonna put that to the test! Alright, if that counter... right corner? Hold on. Bottom corner. Just don't want the text to be too small and blocking anything. Ooh. Is that better? That's good. Here, let me... Left corner was harder to read. Yeah, because it was meshing in with the colors. Hold on. Let me see if I can... Oh, here we go. Bold. There we go. That's probably easier to read. Okay. Alright, he says he doesn't drink more than 17 cups of coffee. We'll put it to the test. Nice try! Alright! The first one. Is always the best. Mr. Godot, your witness. Okay then. Let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Ron Delete, has to say for himself. The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? It may be a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but... I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delete to testify. Ha! You've got guts, Trite. Alright then, Mr. Ron Delete, please take the stand! You did it, didn't you? Okay, the god. You did it! Yeah! I'm gonna make him drop his coffee. Oh my god, that scared me for a second. No, that's not true. For a moment there, I thought we'd set the record for the shortest trial ever.
Well, Mr. Delete already looks plenty guilty with that face he's making.
Once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin. Ha! Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security? Well, it's kind of hard to say. Boy, I wish I could go home. Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened. Alrighty. That evening, around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was. 1 a.m., the exact time the murder took place. Coffee number 2. Alright. The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. Ha! It's bitter today, too. Just like my destiny.
You never know that from the way he's chugging it down.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please. Sir, yes, sir. Alright. We pass everything. 1 a.m., huh? You're absolutely sure about that? Yes, that's what my watch said when I was entering the CEO's office. No. Actually, I'm not really sure. My watch was slow, and my internal clock was also a bit... 1 a.m. That's the exact time the victim, Mr. Bullard, was murdered, correct? It's too late for a coffee date, that's for sure. Okay. It ordered you there? It was the first time I gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere. Does that mean you've gotten other blackmail letters then? Oh, of course. They'd say things like, steal this, or take that. Ha! Why didn't you say those for later, Mr. Delete? Please don't say anymore. Now, what should I do? Oh, press order. It's giving me the option. So what did the blackmail letter in question say? It said to bring $50,000. Money, huh? A perfect motive for committing murder. Oh, but wait! I never intended to pay that money anyway. Oh, is that right? After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of. An important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony. Yes, sir. Ha! A muddy mud skipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do. Blackmail threat didn't scare me. I wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything. Okay, he was right about the 50... If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead. None of these are red diamonds. We know that the tier of Eminon is blue from the article. Yeah, it's blue, right in the bottom corner. What reason do you have for going there, then? I had to leave for a minute, so I might have missed something. That's fine. We didn't really get too far. We're still discussing his blackmail letter. Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway? The blackmail letter said if you don't want your identity revealed, correct? I'm sure it was referring to the whole mask star Demasque thing. But I wasn't worried. Mr. Bullard didn't have anything on me.
I come to make an announcement. Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch-ass motherfucker. He pissed on my fucking wife. That's right. He took his hedgehog
quilly dick out, and
he pissed on my fucking wife. And he said his
dick was this big. And I said that's disgusting.
So I'm making a call-out post on my Twitter.com. Shadow the Hedgehog, you got a small
Kitty?
dick. It's the size of this walnut, except way smaller. And guess what?
Oh my
Here's what my dog looks like.
That's right, baby. All points, no quills, no pillows. Look at that, it looks like 2 balls and a bong. Fuck my wife, so guess what? I'm gonna fuck the earth. That's right, this is what you get, my super laser pants.
Except I'm not gonna fuck the earth. I'm gonna go higher. I'm pissing on the moon! How do you like that, Obama? I pissed on the moon, you idiot! You're 23 hours before the piss droplets hit the fucking earth. Now get out of my fucking sight before I piss on you too. Well, I can't do my math homework now. I'm too busy pissing on the moon. My cat just laid on it. Well, now you have an excuse. You have a good excuse. He didn't? Anyway, I don't care what anyone says about me. Just as long as Desi believes in me. So that's why Mr. Elite didn't believe he was Mask Star Demasque. That's why I knew they were just hollow threats. You used to be a security chief for KB Security, right? Yes, that's right. A security chief? You? And yet, a year ago you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge? A perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say? This isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject. Why were you fired? Mr. Delete, please tell us why you were fired from your job. Well... The world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never asked that. Okay, then I take it back. Defendant, please answer the question. Well, I needed money. You needed money? Well, you see, Desi loves to spend it. It's kind of her hobby.
Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick?
My salary wasn't nearly enough, so... You did what? I stole data from the company! Come again? KB Security has a lot of security info in all sorts of companies, and since I was security team chief, you stole some data and sold it. Mr. Bullard found out and I was fired immediately. What? I wish I'd never asked that. I was somehow able to keep it secret and made it seem like I had quit on my own.
What is it, Nick? You don't look so good.
Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You do well to remember that.
I sure told you.
So you admit that you stole data from your company, is that correct? Yes, I'm sorry. This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony. Oh man, this whole thing just took a big turn for the worse. Crashed and blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster. Desi doesn't know about that. He fired me for selling company secrets, but Desi doesn't know about it. And now, I at least wanted to get my book for English, but now she's lying on my homework and pressed up against my leg. So I also can't leave. Oof, ripperoni. Why would you do something like that? Well, for Desi's hobby. What else? Wasting money, huh? It's not a waste!
So Miss Delete doesn't know that her husband was fired, does she?
So it would seem.
I'm not sure what to think about couples who keep secrets like that from each other.
I can't believe it. This case has gotten even Maya to think seriously about couples. Please try to stay focused, Mr. Wright.
There wasn't much to his testimony, was there?
Sounds like he's avoiding something. At least, that's what it sounds like to me.
Uh-oh, I've got a bad feeling about this. We better be careful.
But if we don't find a way to make him spill the beans, we'll never get closer to the truth.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck. Okay. Nope.
God damn it. I'm not thinking. I need to think. I need to use my big brain and think, and I don't have it. Oh, God.
Okay, hold on. Wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything. Desi doesn't know about that. No. I think... Wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything. The red diamond isn't an object. It's Desiree. Mr. Delete, what you said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday. Huh? What doesn't? I think you must have been scared. Very scared. Of having a certain person find out your secret. Huh? A certain person? Miss Desiree Delete. The defendant's wife. But listen to me, my Desi, she's... Looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins. Godot! Yes, we know. It was all your wife's fault. What do you mean? Mr. Delete stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habit, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about. Oh, No! Everything is falling neatly into place for him! Don't talk about my Desi like that! Or you'll be sorry! Yeah, Desiree also told us that she hates criminals and cowards. And Ron is exactly that. So if he was getting blackmailed because Kane knew all of this information and was like, if you don't bring me money, I'm gonna tell your wife! And we've learned a great deal of things here so far.
What do you think, Nick?
I didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped? No, wiped. Whipped? I don't know which one. In just 20 minutes. Clearly there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife, and he killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much. Coffee number 3. That's coffee number 3, even though it didn't slide on in. He didn't have his coffee previously, so that's coffee number 3. Alright, the motive is clear. Let's move on. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delete? Come now, tell us! We're all ears. Oh, I thought she said cowards are okay, thieves are okay, she just hates cowardly thieves. Doesn't that... Wait, it says in her bio. In her profile. Yeah, hates criminals and cowards more than anything. Yeah. Okay. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. At me! Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there dead. I see. Suddenly hit on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided similar testimony. He said that masked star Demasque struck him on the head from behind. Of course, since Atmey turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie. Huh. No one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that. What are you saying? I really was attacked. We'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination. Got that, Mr. Trite? Don't go easy just because he's your client. Coffee number 4. Alrighty, coffee number 4. If I see any sign that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend. You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godot. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it.
Alrighty. Press everything.
Who was this suspicious shadow? If there was 1,000 of me, and if there were 1,000 of me, and if even one knew, I'd tell you. Trust me.
Because dodging all of our questions is not helping us win this case.
Okay, then how was the victim, Mr. Bullard, at that time? What do you mean by how was he? Was he already dead? Was he still alive? Maybe he was the one who hit you in the first place. That's a good question. What do you think, Mr. Wright? Forget it. Your forehead? Yes, I was hit on the forehead as soon as I entered the room. It was an amazingly fast and powerful attack. Do you remember anything about who hit you? Well, like I said, it was a fast and powerful hit, so I think I was a little dazed for a while.
I don't think Mr. Delete even grasped what you were asking.
Yeah, I'd like to show him a fast and powerful attack myself. Maybe that would knock some sense back into him. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. Wearing what? That? Could you please clarify what you're referring to? Why, my mask star to mask costume, of course. Wait just a moment! Mask star to mask! Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as Mask Star Demasque. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KV Security. What?
Nick, did you know about this? He never told me this.
I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either. And I didn't know that. It seems our little friend really loves to keep his secrets. I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Wait, that's not right. You know how sometimes things just slip your mind? Ha! My 6th cup of coffee is staring up at me cold. He's at 6? Bullshit, you're at 4! What? Okay, I guess he's keeping track, whatever. At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony.
I'd have been killed if I hadn't been wearing my Mask Star Demasque costume. Why are you dressed up as Mask Star Demasque? Why, because I'm Mask Star Demasque, of course.
What are you talking about? Mask Star Demasque's trial is being held next door.
Yes. I guess so. Anyway, at the time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Mask Star Demasque issue. So I thought I should go as him just to be safe.
Oh, boy.
Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than I had expected.
Took a lot longer?
What is he talking about?
Press harder.
What do you mean by took a lot longer? Oh, opening the safe, of course. My cape got caught on the safe door, you see? This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullard's body. Run. Run, 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 run.
Run. For the love of God. Okay. I'ma punch this guy! Yeah, Ron, you're not making your case any clearer. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Exactly. What was that? Back up a second.
Yes?
You were the one that hid the body in the safe?
Well, yeah.
Inconceivable! Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking?
Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine?
What?
The answer is simple. When they take them off.
As usual, I have no idea what you're saying.
Do you mean that Mr. Delete hid the body because he's the murderer?
Ha!
So you're not as stupid as you look.
His metaphor this time was really obscure.
Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you?
Yes.
Why am I the only one not in the loop here? Witness, make sure you add this to your testimony.
Yes, sir. Oh, looks like a storm front is moving in on the fair weather. Oh, looks like a storm front is moving in over the fair weather judge. I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes. Why did you hide the body in the safe anyway? Well, because it wouldn't fit in a drawer. That's not exactly what I meant. When I saw that corpse, I kind of lost it. I thought, if they find his corpse, they'll think I did it.
Ha! I think you had a simpler reason than that. It's because you killed him. That's why you spent 10 minutes hiding the body. That certainly makes more sense.
Hold on. 10 minutes?
What is it, Nick?
Just had a thought. Under those circumstances, we should normally try to hide the body and spend 10 whole minutes to do it.
Under those circumstances? What circumstances? Oh! Hey, Nick! If you think his behavior was so strange, why don't you present some evidence that would show just what those circumstances were?
That's it. I'll take a look at the court record and present some evidence.
We heard this from Mr. Delete yesterday, didn't we?
There's not much in his testimony either.
I bet you he's still hiding something.
I wouldn't be surprised. We'll just have to draw it out of him.
Just hope he doesn't make things any more complicated.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. The buzzer went off. It was the security buzzer. He wouldn't have had 10 minutes. Gonna save. Just gonna save. Making sure that I'm presenting the right thing. There we go. Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record?
Why, and what might this be?
The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, a security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 a.m.
What?
If Mr. Ron DeLeet truly was the murderer, he would have ran as soon as that buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been heading his way.
Ha! Let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea there were security personnel in the building.
Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as a chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them.
But, as it turns out, the guard never came.
That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. DeLeet could have known.
Ha! Again, remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. DeLeet didn't even notice the buzzer going off.
This buzzer is extremely loud. There's no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is.
Conscious? What do you mean by that?
Coffee number 5. Whoopsies.
Coffee number 5. Alright. Fine. Let's hear your theory.
Recall the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him.
Oh, excuse me.
Goodness. Mr. DeLeet said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes.
Unconscious? So he fainted?
That's why Mr. DeLeet didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body.
So what are you trying to say?
Mr. DeLeet was knocked out, and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right! Whoever it was, they knocked out Ron DeLeet and then pressed the buzzer.
He's an even bigger idiot than Phoenix, Your Honor! Order! Order in the court! Mr. Wright, this is... This is preposterous!
It was this kid.
Ron DeLeet is the one who killed Kane Bullard! Jesus, I cannot talk.
Then who pressed the buzzer?
It was... the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push that button.
Ah!
So Kane Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. What is your opinion on this, Mr. Wright?
I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene, but how? Can I prove that it wasn't Kane Bullard who sounded the buzzer?
Can I prove that it wasn't Kane Bullard who sounded the buzzer? Can I prove that it wasn't Kane Bullard who sounded the buzzer?
Do I have his picture of him being dead?
There's no fingerprints!
Kane's fingerprints are not on the buzzer! The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. It's the buzzer himself. It's got no fingerprints on it. It's got no printies. Got no printies. I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence. My brain is dying. Evidence you were looking for.
The emergency buzzer? Is there some kind of clue on it?
Absolutely not.
Coffee number 6.
Doesn't his costume have gloves? Yes, but if we're going with the cutscene,
Atmey also has gloves.
so we're gonna... Atmey has gloves. So we can pin it on Atmey. Hey, come on now, at least give some thought to what you say before opening your mouth. The fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue.
Now I'm the one who's clueless.
This button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullard had really pressed it himself, naturally he would have left his fingerprints behind.
Spit take! Yes!
Ron Delete obviously wiped them off. Why would he? A guard could have come in at any moment.
He touched that button. I know he did.
The defendant, Mr. Delete, was dressed as Mask Star Demasque. And Mask Star Demasque always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have had to wipe the button free of fingerprints? Oh, goodness.
Order, order, order!
It would seem.
Coffee number 7!
Coffee number 7.
I've been forced to eat crow.
I wonder what blend number crow-flavored coffee is.
However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer? Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger?
Phoenix is like, that's a good question.
What's with this awkward silence all of a sudden?
Huh. Looks like you're fresh out of parlor tricks.
They're on to you, Nick.
Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullard at around 1 a.m. Mr. Delete just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right? The killer clobbered Mr. Delete and then sounded the buzzer.
Even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed.
Security was supposed to respond.
Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say.
Very well then.
Oh, you've got some guts.
I like that in an opponent.
Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer?
Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer? To find out what it did. No, because I think, okay, the most logical response here would be to call the security guard, because if they were to call the security guard, make a mad dash, while both Kane Bullard is dead and Ron Delete is unconscious, the security guard waltzing right on in would be like, oh, this unconscious guy just killed the CEO! Yeah! The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted.
Do you mean to say the killer called the guard on purpose?
Yes, although as it turned out, he never showed up.
Because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time.
Is that coffee number 7? I think that's coffee number 7. Wait, no, coffee number 8. Ugh. Ugh, goodness. Ha! What a touching story. You're saying the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in? No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Kane Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ron DeLeet, who was out cold. And the third person, the real killer.
Hypothetically, yes.
Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Ron DeLeet. And if any security guards came in running at that time, they would think that I was the murderer. Yes, that was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Ron DeLeet for the murder.
Did Godot just specifically take a swig of coffee just to do a spit take? That's funny. Okay. Order.
It would seem
That's coffee number 9.
Oh, goodness, excuse me. I'm made to eat my words once again.
Actually, even made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee.
Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Wait a second. I'm the one and only Mask Star Demasque, so...
Nick, you mean the real killer is...
We're going to drag that person in here right now.
But who is it?
I don't have any solid proof yet, but think about it. The killer knew Mr. DeLeet's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KB security that night, so the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Kane Bullard.
Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. Ron DeLeet for the murder of Kane Bullard?
It's Atmey. Detective Luke Atmey. He's the only one who could have done it.
Ace Detective?
Luke Atmey?
You mean Mask Star Demasque did it?
Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Mask Star Demasque at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Kane Bullard.
Order! Mr. Wright, explain yourself!
Theft and murder. Which is the more serious crime?
They're not even close. Murder is the more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to a capital punishment.
Please remember the trial from yesterday, if you would. When Luke Atmey confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom.
Of course, a famous detective was unmasked as well as Mask Star Demasque.
Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along.
To be found guilty?
Mask Star Demasque had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Lordly Taylor. In other words, being found guilty as Mask Star Demasque was Luke Atmey's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi.
A guilty verdict. As an alibi! You know, it's almost time. For what? For Luke Atmey's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial after all. If we're going to stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course. That's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder. Mr. Luke Atmey's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If we were to intrude and fail to provide adequate proof of his true crime, Mr. DeLeet would be left with no grounds for appeal.
Am I really sure about this? That's only good when your life's the ante. Mr. Wright, I believe in you. Mr. DeLeet? So, please, I'm begging you. Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this? Phoenix. Oh, what was that? Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust. That voice, it sounds like... Mia! Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess. Ha! So that's your answer, huh?
Very well, I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke Atmey to the stand.
Yes, Your Honor. Oh, it's Mr. Payne. All right.
Well, Sir Detective Atmey.
I forgot his voice. I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly. Oh no, Sir Detective Atmey. You were the one who... They have a... They just... Judge Reskin.
That's enough! This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant Luke Atmey.
Ah, yes, Phoenix. Wait! Don't hand down your verdict yet, please! Well, Sir Lawyer, welcome to my courtroom.
Oh my god!
Jesus! That face is terrifying.
Who's this hoser, huh?
My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law, and I wish to file an accusation against this man. Luke Atmey! Accusation? You accuse Mask Star Demasque? That man is not Mask Star Demasque. He's just a ruthless murderer. What? Oh boy. Oh boy. Chat, we're still good with stream, right? We haven't had any crashes or anything. I'm still good.
I hope I'm good. I'm gonna check. Oh, it looks like we're fine. Yep, on my phone we're still going.
Awesome. Okay.
My sis?
I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice.
So then she's still alive, inside your heart.
Nicky boy! Oh, Miss Delete. Is it true that Detective is the real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definite proof. But he's the only one who could have done it.
But wasn't he at the Lordly Tailor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atmey want to kill Kane Bullard?
It's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. I need to find some solid proof. It's gotta happen sooner rather than later. Awesome. Oh, goodness. Ooh. Okay. Awesome. Alrighty.
Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Luke Atmey, please take the stand.
He's back. Well, how do you do, Sir Lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. Not when it would have given you your perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Mask Star Demasque. I'm sorry, I'm afraid even the great Luke Atmey has no idea what you mean. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I can know what's been going on in here.
You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Mask Star Demasque.
Indeed, it's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. So you continue to insist that you are, in fact, Mask Star Demasque. Of course.
Very well then, Luke Atmey, let us begin with this simple question. On October 12th at 1 a.m., Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at that time?
One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge.
Thanks. Coffee number 10.
Oh, goodness, I need to drink a Wawa. Hydrate, you guys. It's good for you.
Alright. Alright, Mr. Atmey. The night of the murder. Speak.
We're all ears. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor.
Alright, buddy.
I was stealing the urn as Mask Star Demasque, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case one turned out to be my witness. At the time at which the camera captured Mask Star Demasque was the same time as the murder.
It seems the main point of discussion will be this photo of this crime scene.
Everything else up until now was all part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well. Even the great Mask Star Demasque cannot be in two places at once. That nose looks so fake even from the color. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive. Unfortunately, Mr. Atmey, we still have to do your cross-examination. A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool.
I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick.
The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. Alrighty. We are going to save, and we are going to press everything. Alright. This is all gonna tie into the urn somehow. Why was he stealing the sacred urn? So this photograph is the proof, correct? Indeed it is. Do not say the word foolish, I got a trauma, right? And the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask. That is why I'm called Mask Star Demasque. But conveniently, that also means that there is no way to tell who this really is.
What do you mean?
Ha! You saying that this is not, in fact, Luke Atmey? That it could be an accomplice dressed up as Mask Star Demasque to create an alibi? Oh, what an interesting idea. Are you saying that I, Lone Wolf Luke, had an accomplice?
An accomplice? No! No!
If Luke Atmey was at KB security during the murder, then Mask Star Demasque in this picture has to be a fake.
And there really was an accomplice.
But right now I have no idea who it was.
I don't have any idea right now either.
Baseless objections are what that guy wants. There's gotta be another way. And I'm gonna find it. He had an accomplice. What? No, that's this publicity photo. How the fuck would his nose fit under the mask? It doesn't. That's true. That's quite true. How the fuck would his nose fit underneath the mask? But let's say the only way to prove Luke Atmey is the killer is to make sure that he was at KB security. That has to be a different person, right? It should be. Possibly, but we don't have anything to prove that right now. Right now, I'm just gonna press everything, see what I get. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point. That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. You sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right? Indeed, there was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see. You truly are evil, aren't you? Yes, evil is what I am.
Hey, Nick? Isn't there something odd about this?
Hmm?
Detective Atmey is always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona.
You know, that's true. It is kind of odd. The judge should look at the damn nose! So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct? Indeed it is, that is it! The very thing that proves I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. When you think about it, it's really odd. You see that almost as if you had this picture taken on purpose. He was simply caught by the very camera that he had set up. We all have days like that. Indeed, it turned out that there was no such thing as the perfect crime after all. Life is truly an ironic thing, a sad blue melody. Looks like I'd better gather more information for now. If he's truly the killer, there's gotta be something phony in that photo. About the camera that took this photograph. Oh, come now. It's all too clear what you're thinking. Huh? You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you? I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lordly Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lordly Taylor's staff that printed that picture's data. Fortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. I see. Looks like I'd better find something else that could be suspicious.
So, this alibi is false.
Has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security.
But I'm not really spotting anything unusual.
There are two possibilities. Either the mask star Demasque in this photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. The photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. Oh, goodness. Wait a minute. Box has got no paint on it, but paint's all over the floor. Oh, shit, I hit the wrong button. Goodness. Surely even you understand by now. Lordly Taylor provided that camera. That means I could not have killed Kane Bullard unless I had an accomplice. Come on, think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse, and this picture that supposedly captures it. It's gotta be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture? You bet there is. Are you implying that this picture is a fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night, but before the theft took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Very well, then let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph do you find funny? It's the paint on the floor. The funny part is right here. Why, this is a blood stain!
Blood! Now this case is getting interesting.
Not exactly. The stain is actually pink paint.
Oh, just paint. And peach-colored at that.
From blood to peaches. The judge sure loves going on his wild tangents. Hi, Sal! The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse. Turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen.
Well, Mr. Wright? What is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains? The statue.
Because it was over the paint. The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following. Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you saw it first. I myself was there the night the theft took place, and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then that statue should have been there. But when I went there the day after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner.
Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally?
Your Honor, the statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than accidental push to move it that distance.
Ha! In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night?
Can you do it, Nick?
Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it?
Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared with your answer. Who was the one that moved the golden statue on the night of the crime? Who moved the statue?
What? Fuck, I can't save.
Okay, let's narrow this down.
Can't be Phoenix, can't be Mia, can't be Maya, can't be Pearl, can't be Gumshoe. Can't be Kane, he's dead. Can't be Godot. Can't be Larry. Because he was returning a wallet and also getting punched in the face by girlfriend-boyfriend drama. Can't be Desiree. No, it wasn't Larry, because Larry was discovering Ron's wallet, and he was also getting mixed up with, ex-girlfriend stuff. He was in a fight with the boyfriend. I remember the story that he told us. He was dealing with those issues. So it can't be Larry. Can't be Ron. Okay. I think it's Atmey. This narrows it down to either Atmey or Andrews. And we're trying to pin this on Atmey. Okay, I'm gonna go on a wild ghost ride. It's Atmey. Okay. The one who moved the statue is none other than Luke Atmey. Come now, sir lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. That is indeed very simple. However, I would I want to move a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving the golden statue. Here's where our battle really begins.
Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move that statue?
The reason can be found here on this photograph. Luke Atmey, you pretended to be Mask Star Demasque to create an alibi by showing you were at Lordly Taylor that night. This photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like cheap film at a drugstore. That is why you had to move the statue.
A single fatal flaw?
Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist?
The timestamp.
Naturally, the lie in this photo is the timestamp.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Luke Atmey went to KB security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lordly Taylor at this time.
But what does that have to do with the statue being moved?
Remember, if you will, Your Honor. When was this statue placed besides the warehouse door?
Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime. It was placed there in order to cover up the paint.
Exactly. Luke Atmey had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim. And so in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place.
What the?
Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet.
Ah.
So on the day of the crime, Mr. Atmey must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke Atmey had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in his photo.
Order! Order! Mr. Atmey, is this true?
One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this?
What's that?
The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime. It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data.
Ah! Order! Order! Mr. Godot, what is the meaning of this? That's coffee number 11. Godot, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down! My 11th cup. Oh my god!
We're somehow matching with the counter? Alright.
We weren't before. I guess we've been counting right. Maybe. I don't know. My 11th cup. I promised to drink no more than 17 during a trial, which means I'm still good to the last drop. However, this defense has a very good point.
A good point?
So what?
We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points.
I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points.
So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time, and that the statue was moved in order to make it match. It's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied. Which is? Coffee number 12! Boop! Alright. That it's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe. can never reach their dreams.
That's very true.
No way, don't fall for that, Your Honor.
Hey, Mr. Demasque.
Yes? There's no funny business in your actions as Mask Star Demasque. There should be no problem with you telling us your strategy, so let's hear it.
Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the sacred urn. Okay, here we go. Now we tie it into the sacred urn. Okay.
I first received the request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box in Svari. It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. Bullshit.
That's pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it?
Yeah, but we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave.
Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time?
Svari.
Very well then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Sir, yes, sir. Alrighty, we're gonna save.
And we're gonna press everything. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Whoopsies! You were asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews, is that right? Indeed, it seemed that they had heard of my sparkling reputation. See, Miss Andrews is still attracting the weirdos. You better watch out too, Maya. Oopsies. Okay. You mean this box? Yes, that pathetic box. And Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn. She wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom. Not even me. Huh. Interesting new tidbit. Okay. So you're sure that you had never seen the urn before? Indeed. You may ask Lady Andrews to confirm for yourself. My security was focused entirely on the entrance to that warehouse. However, I, Luke Atmey, let no information whatsoever slip from my fingers. Okay. Okay. You mean this calling card? That's right. That is without a doubt my calling card.
I guess Mr. Delete didn't make this after all.
Of course. Because Atmey knew about the emblem. Making this card authentic would have been child's play for him. Okay. Then no one entered the basement warehouse. Unfortunately, there were many different treasures being taken there. Thus, for a period of approximately 5 days, people were indeed going in and out of the warehouse. And this is the photo that proves that, huh? Indeed. To be honest, even if a photo was taken, I didn't think it would matter terribly much.
Hey, Nick, if this photo is a fake, Detective Atmey might have stolen the urn whenever this was taken.
It's true. You know, he's been saying that he never saw the urn until that night. If we can prove that he's lying there, we can wrap this up and put a bow on it. We need to take a good hard look at the court record. Okay. Okay. That he took this photo well before the actual night of the crime. Yeah, there's no... Okay. He had never seen the urn before he stole it. He had never seen the urn before he stole it. However, in that picture, the box... Wait! Fucking... I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime, and then in the statement before he says that the urn was placed in a box. He's straight up fucking lying. What? Oh my fucking god. Mr. Atmey, if you really are Mask Star Demasque, and you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course. Is there a problem with that calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Mask Star Demasque had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn.
Yes, that is true. But so what?
Truth be told, there's no way that Mask Star Demasque could have known about this pattern.
What do you mean?
This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains.
Paint stains?
And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor.
Coffee number 13. He's getting close. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite.
The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say an error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. You can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atmey had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. Yes, spit take. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Yay, yippee!
Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Alright, that did it. He's broken.
Nick, I think it's still a little early for a victory pose.
Huh?
Coffee number 14.
Nice, alright.
Ha!
So sad. No one has any conviction these days.
Conviction, you say?
Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Mask Star Demasque, and now we're calling him a murderer.
You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point.
No way! Don't fall for that too, Your Honor! You say that Luke Atmey was the one who killed Kane Bullard? Let me ask you this. Why would he do that? An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright, motive. Might you, my merry murderous motive manifest?
Nick, he's getting his second wind.
If he prepared an alibi and pinned this crime on Ron Delete, you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder.
The only one with any motive we've seen is Ron Delete. Isn't that right, Detective? Indeed, according to my own research, the boy's motive is clear.
Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were.
I'd be honored to, Sir Old-Timer. Doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance.
Alrighty. Motive. Hydrate, chat. It's good for you. Alright. I, Luke Atmey, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Mask Star Demasque and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delete. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delete for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Mask Star Demasque. That is why Mr. Delete saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. So, the victim, Kane Bullard, blackmailed the defendant? This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. What? Okay. Alright. Huh. Okay. 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 It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delete. Huh. Back. Wait a minute. Okay, what if Red Diamond in the blackmail letter is actually referring to the actual ring that Luke Atmey is wearing? And it's just a coincidence that Desiree is red. Hold on. Oh my fucking god! Mind I ask you a few questions, Detective Atmey? Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright. When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron Delete, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction. Contradiction? I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that. You want to talk? In times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you've got there, Junior? Indeed, time to man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. Don't want your short or give me security. Wait. My brain is going everywhere. He was in the Mask Star Demasque case because Ron was in the photo. The diamond is blue, not red. That's true, but he's also not wearing his ring. Whoop. Oh, okay, never mind. I did present the newspaper clipping. Okay. I had no idea what I just did. Okay. Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the Tear of Emanon, the stolen jewel. What about it? The problem is this jewel's color. Color? I'm not much for discussing color myself. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Red? Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the Tear of Emanon that Mask star Demasque stole at all. And your point is, Mr. Trite? So you're trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? Is that what you're trying to say, right, Trite? Is that what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright?
Well, is that what you're trying to say, right, Nick?
Is that what I'm trying to say? Yes! This is who Kane Bullard was actually blackmailed. Luke. Naturally, it was you, Detective Atmey. Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? You've been personally involved in every single Mask Star Demasque case. In the last case, you recovered what was stolen and received a jewel as your reward. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring. That is the diamond referred to in the letter, which means that Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you. Order in the court. Order, I say. That's coffee number, what are we at? 15. It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Trite. Uh-oh, I don't like the way you said that. Kane Bullard blackmailing Luke Atmey. Are you for real? Yes, I am.
Nick, come on, stand up to him.
Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world. Yes, it certainly does. Kane Bullard threatened to make Luke Atmey's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So just what was that identity? Atmey killed Kane Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret?
This is what it all comes down to, Nick.
The identity that Luke Atmey so desperately wanted to keep his secret identity. A blackmailer. Because he's the one sending the heist plans to Ron. Luke Atmey was a blackmailer. Objection. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on. Isn't it a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Kane Bullard was the one blackmailing Luke Atmey. You're saying that Atmey was blackmailing someone else on top of that.
You have to admit that does sound a little odd.
It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atmey. But Ron DeLeet was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Emanon heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans. Detailed plans? In which case, that would mean that Ron DeLeet was actually Mask Star Demasque. That is what we are claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. DeLeet steal his targets for him. That someone was none other than Luke Atmey. Shh! Silence! Now I see it's all becoming clear. What is?
When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? How did you... You see that I, Luke Atmey, was blackmailing Ron Delete, in which case I would naturally know all about his relation to Mask Star Demasque. Well, yes, Ron Delete started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime.
Good point. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise.
That's coffee number 16. Buddy's got one more.
In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence. Options. I can't save. Alright. During the first crime, how did Luke Atmey know that Ron Delete was Mask Star Demasque?
Because of the newspaper clipping. He's right fucking there in the photo. We proved that was him. He literally said so himself. Ron is the cop, and Atmey found the costume. I think I see it. See what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief trying to be the center of attention. What do you mean? This newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Ron Delete in his guard uniform. It seems that Mask Star Demasque just didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket.
That sounds far too stupid to be true.
Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. That's when you figured it out, Mr. Atmey. That's when you learned that under his mask, Mask Star Demasque was Ron Delete. What the? Wasn't he supposed to be Mask Star Demasque? Not only that, it looks like he wasn't even an ace detective. I can't believe it. He was just a slimy blackmailer. What a fraud, trying to pass himself off as an ace detective. Why, how dare you expose me like that? Why, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective and also Mask Star Demasque. Why can't you understand that? I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity. Why, you? How dare you even okay. He's okay. Okay. We just needed to let him go on his little tangent, that's all. It would seem we've finally arrived at the real answer.
That was quite a performance by Mr. Atmey.
Bailiff! Please prepare a cell for Mr. Atmey. Uh-oh. That's cup number 17, buddy. The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim. What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my ruling. Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge.
You don't get much more in your face than that.
It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Wright.
What are you?
It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke Atmey was a filthy blackmailer, and that he wasn't that lordly tailor the night of the murder.
That's right. That's why he's the one who killed Mr.
But... there's still one thing you have yet to prove. What's that?
Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene.
Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB Security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered.
No. No way!
Order. Order in the court. Well, Mr. Wright?
This is it. This is the final round. Let me save. Okay, we're all good. I've got to prove that Atmey was at Mr. Bullard's office on that night.
But can you really prove that?
That's long enough, Mr. Trite. I want to hear your answer.
That night, Luke Atmey was at KB Security, and the defense... Luke Atmey was at KB Security. I don't think we can. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go on the route that we can't prove it and see where that brings me. I can't prove it.
Just as I thought.
But if we hear more of Detective Atmey's testimony... Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Trite. What do you mean? I won't allow for any more testimony, that's what I mean. What? Have you forgotten? Luke Atmey is here after we interrupted his own trial, and you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial, and face his guilty verdict as Mask Star Demasque. No. Well, now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out. It wins out in the end, after all. I am the ace detective as well as Mask Star Demasque. My verdict will verify that. Just as Ron Deletes will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness.
Order. Order in the court. That's enough deliberation over this witness.
I can't believe this. At this rate, Ron is...
Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence, and
by then it'll be too late.
Huh? Why?
That's coffee number 18, good sir. You went over 17. Buddy.
Double jeopardy.
One of the basic rules of any court of law.
Double jeopardy?
Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court, that defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental rule of all courts, and it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else. Mr. Atmey will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as Mask Star Demasque, which means he will be innocent as far as the murder of Kane Bullard is concerned.
No way!
The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Atmey's guilt of that crime here means that he will never again be tried as Kane Bullard's murderer.
Now there's nothing I can possibly do to win, even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent. The real killer, Luke Atmey, will go free.
You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today, and as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections?
Get done with this fucking coffee.
Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke Atmey. Ah!
I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result.
How did you?
Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. That voice. No way. Mia! It's not Von Karma, it's Mia.
Yes!
It sounded very similar to Von Karma.
Long time no see, Phoenix. Mia! This is the true power of the Karain channeling technique. I know that it's really Maya who's standing before me, but right now she's my mentor, Mia Fey. Now let's do this. But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine. Not yet. The testimony's not over yet. What do you mean? Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today.
Yes, that's true, but...
Unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks. Oh my goodness.
Okay, interesting. Yes, but these comments up here have no importance whatsoever.
Very well. Then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert our right to question them. Is that all right with you, prosecutor?
Is something the matter, Mr. Godot? Ah, nothing.
Oh, sir lawyer, it looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehoods would do anything to me, look at me.
Let's hear it. Huh? It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination.
Mr. Godot, what are you?
Very well then, Mr. Luke Atmey. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks.
The defense would like to hear why you declared the defendant to be the true murderer.
So please, give us one last bit of testimony.
Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance.
Yes, Chief.
Alright. The last one. Oh boy. Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lordly Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Ron DeLeet. And thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. DeLeet was wearing his Star Demasque outfit, which was why he left no prints. And the blackmail letter? The victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. Zvari. Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy.
His testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well. The witness's earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained, and none of them seem to contradict anything.
But, of course...
But how did you know of the emergency buzzer?
The police investigation documents went directly through me. And I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, sir lawyer.
Ah. Are you going to make even more trouble for us now, sir lawyer? I will not allow any of your unusual shenanigans, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
We cannot postpone Luke Atmey's trial any longer. This is your last chance.
Hang on a sec, just one chance.
Ha! It seems the party's about to begin.
Well, Phoenix,
there isn't any evidence that contradicts with that testimony. So it would seem...
What do you mean, so it would seem?
Listen, Phoenix, pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it.
He's over!
Bullshit! It's cup number 19, you bitch!
Cup number 17. The last cup.
It seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial. I have to find a fatal contradiction in this testimony, and I need to point it out without presenting evidence. Which means all I can do is find the contradictory remark and press it. Remember, you only get one chance.
Alright. Okay, I need to look this over thoroughly. Okay. We are going to save.
Okay. It's true that I was not at Lorley Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me the true culprit was Ron DeLeet, and thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. DeLeet was wearing his Mask Star Demasque outfit, which is why he left no prints. Blackmail letter, the victim likely just took the color of the jewel. Huh. DeLeet was wearing his Mask Star Demasque outfit, which is why he left no prints, but you also wear gloves. Mr. Atmey, about this last remark. You still don't get it, do you, Trite? This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement. I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Godot. What? Mr. Atmey, it seems you've finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. How can you say that? Let's review your testimony, shall we? Ooh, I see I'm lagging a little bit. Ooh. Saw my frames just start to die, so, okay. I hope we're better now. Alright. Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Atmey? The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. DeLeet was wearing his Mask Star Demasque outfit. Is that correct? Indeed, that's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof. More like your deductions prove that you're a fool. I'm sorry, whatever do you mean? For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty. When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron DeLeet was dressed as Mask Star Demasque when he went to the scene of the crime? That was, it was just a few hours ago. Back when my sixth cup was looking at me with a cold stare. Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. That's right, the defendant had yet to tell anyone this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should know this are those who have been watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Atmey? There's no way that you should have known about that! You were in the next courtroom, being tried as Mask Star Demasque. So that enlighten us. Just how did you know about that piece of information? Well... Come on, this detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand. And it's those chances I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. DeLeet was wearing his Mask Star Demasque outfit. There was one way for Detective Atmey to have found that out. Only one way, you say? Please recall, if you will, Mr. DeLeet's testimony. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. For a second, my client witnessed the real killer.
But Mr. Delete never saw his attacker, so there's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was Luke Atmey.
It's with that statement that I'll turn this case on its head.
Just what are you implying?
Mr. Delete saw the real killer, correct? Now, if you turn that statement around, it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Ron Delete.
Impossible. Yes!
Detective Atmey, you saw Mask Star Demasque at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Kane Bullard and assaulted Ron Delete. That was the only way you could have known what Ron was wearing.
Earthquake?
Oh, no, he's just gonna scream.
Let it out.
Yep. Yeah, let it out, man. I know you need to let it out.
Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. It's the same line you gave yesterday.
But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time.
Oh my god.
Yay! We did it.
Hell yeah. What an awfully complicated incident. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atmey, who in turn blackmailing Ron Delete. And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke Atmey tried to frame Ron Delete. He then claimed to be guilty as Mask Star Demasque in order to escape his true crime.
And to that end, he came up with this plan. To use the double jeopardy rule when making his alibi.
At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth. Excuse me, I came perilously close to besmearing the record of an innocent young man. Besmearing him with the title of murderer. Don't ignore me! Oh, I didn't realize you were there.
Why wouldn't he be? About the verdict?
I know. You never committed any murder.
That's right. I'm so glad you understand that, but I really am Mask Star Demasque.
Huh?
So, thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm innocent now, right? What was it you said? Double jeopardy?
Now that you mention it, I've been careless.
Careless?
Why do you think, Mia?
As the defendant says, the rule of double jeopardy is absolute. A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was found innocent.
Then, Mask Star Demasque is really innocent?
It would seem so. For now.
For now.
Now then, this court finds the defendant
Not guilty! Yippee!
Yay!
Yippee!
Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, this isn't so good after all. You see, the thing is, I still am Mask Star Demasque after all.
That was 19 cups of coffee, Godot, not 17, you fucking liar.
You did it, Phoenix. Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah, it's because Maya doesn't call on me much these days.
Oh?
I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days.
You mean about becoming the master of the Karain channeling school?
Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother.
Misty Faye, right?
Watch over her, will you, Phoenix?
Of course.
Well then, we'll see you around.
Mia.
Ah! Mr. Wright! I don't know what to say.
Congratulations, Mr. Delete.
Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore, though, now that all this has happened.
Come on, just be happy already.
Maya.
You've been cleared of the murder charges and got off as Mask Star Demasque to boot.
But in exchange, I lost everything.
Huh? What do you mean?
Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Mask Star Demasque. I did it all for one reason, for her. You mean your wife, Desiree? She hates criminals more than anything. Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she? She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure. So that's why you became Mask Star Demasque? Yes, but it's all over now. A broken bowl can never be put back together.
That's not true, right, Nick?
Right. Really? Can we go back to the way things were?
You'll be fine, and Nick can prove it.
Can? Kinda wish you could check with me first. Mr. Delete, even if a bowl is broken, there's always a way to put it back together. It's the urn. We put the urn back together. A sacred urn? Desi was the one who found this. Desiree, your wife. She's always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything.
There you are!
Miss Delete, you did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate that. But, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you? Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you quit KB Security. I never imagined that you were really Mask Star Demasque either.
Miss Delete, what are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you?
Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast that there's no way he could ever get away. But didn't you say that you hated criminals? Oh, I only hate people who act cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective. I see. My Ronnie went and declared his crimes before he committed them. Like a man. I just love a man who's so chivalrous.
Chivalrous?
I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Desiree, you really do love Ron, don't you? Nicky boy. Yes? I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us. Oh, well, take care of yourself. You too, Nicky boy. I can feel my face going red.
Mr. Nick! Mystic Maya, congratulations!
Talk about bad timing.
Mr. Nick, how could you? With another man's wife in front of Mystic Maya! No. I'll never forgive you.
So just as the case came to a close, so too did my consciousness. Goddamn. Ron said a broken bowl can never be put back together. But I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Aww. Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together even better than before. Oh my god. That's adorable. Yay! Awesome. Oh my god, it's my animate outfit! Oh my god. Okay. Alrighty, chat. Now that this case is done, there are 3 more left until the end of Ace Attorney Trilogy. The entire thing. Yes. So, I'm gonna play that intro cutscene that usually plays before, we get into a new case. And then I'm just gonna leave it at that. Yeah. Alright. We're gonna save here. Awesome. Alright, recipe for turnabout. Let's see what we're getting ourselves into. Oh! That's enough! This court sees no reason to further prolong the trial. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. It wasn't me! I swear it wasn't me!
The evidence and testimony we have seen and heard are conclusive. The victim was alone at his table when he drank from that poisoned cup of No! You're wrong! I know what I saw! I saw! I saw someone else there! A man! He's the real killer! Phoenix? That looks awfully like Phoenix.
Ah yes, mix your coffee with the good shit.
Why won't anyone believe me? Or it's maybe it's Godot with that spiky hair.
Well, I'd say that pretty much wraps this case up, wouldn't you, Mr. Wright?
This court finds the defendant. Oh! This court is adjourned. Oh no. Oh, interesting. What? If anyone starts saying inappropriate, I'm getting violent. You leave the child. I don't care that she's older than me. But she's in the maid outfit, okay? Alright, so we're dealing with someone who's already been declared guilty. Interesting. Okay. Alright, chat. We're gonna leave it off here for today. The next Phoenix Wright stream, we will start case number 3 of Trials and Tribulations. Yes. Alrighty. No! Bad create! Stop it! Leave her alone! Alright, I'll leave her alone. Wait, is there anyone that I can raid? There's no one I can raid! That's great! Awesome! Alright, chat, you guys can just go scatter. You guys can scatter. Yes. The next Phoenix Wright stream, we will begin this case. I do not know how long it lasts, if it's longer than case number 2, or if it has more segments or whatever, so I will figure that out in the future. I don't know if the next stream will be Phoenix Wright or Mario Sunshine. But whatever I'm in the mood for. Alright. Chat, there's nobody I can raid, so you guys can just scatter. You can go scatter. Alrighty. Chat, remember to drink some water. Remember to eat some snacks. Remember that you are a loved and valued person. Did I see the picture of the mobile? No, I didn't. I didn't get a notification on Discord. Oh, there it is. Oh! It's got froggies! Froggos! It's adorable, Mink. I love it. It looks so cute! I love the little frogs! It's got little froggos. I love it. It's currently getting 2 more. Hell yeah, dude. That's sick. Okay, chat, I'm hopping off for the night. I don't know when the next stream will be, because I've streamed for like 3 days in a row, so maybe there might be a... I wouldn't call it a hiatus, like a small break. I
I don't know. I'll stream whenever I'm in the mood. Alright. Bye-bye, guys. I'm popping off. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.